Hello everybody, it's Rita back again for another Saturday video, and I am so sorry that I was not here last week. I was actually in New York, but I was going to make my video. I got a yawn. And I was going to make my video and I forgot in the midst of getting ready to leave and all that stuff, so it was too late. Then I forgot to even post about it, so I'm so sorry about all of that, but I am here today, and like I said, my name's Rita. It's actually Rita Holmes, and I'm from Ohio, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up!, which I love to do, and that's why I like to bring these cards and that to you. So, and evidently, I like to yawn. When I do videos, I like to yawn. I don't know what that's about. I wish I could quit, but you're going to hear me say that forever and ever, I guess. But anyway, I am not doing the card I was intending to do today. But nevertheless, I like the one I did. Just because I remembered I had some paper I wanted to use. Oh my. Yep, I'm going to keep yawning. But anyway, my ear feels stopped up. It's crazy weather. There we go. Now it feels better. But anyway, I want to show you this card. I just want to tell you that, you know, Stampin' Up's got all their July stuffs out online now. They're online exclusives. Yeah. Man. I don't yawn until I get on here. So it's crazy. But anyway, our new catalog will be coming out in September. So the one that's current right now, the one from May to into September, is it the end of September or the 1st of September? 1st of September. It will be going out next month. We have another month with that, so that's a good thing. And the next one's all holiday. And, oh, why do I yawn? Maybe it's because I'm talking. Think that could be it? I don't know. But anyway, they will be bringing that out, and I tell you, it's got a lot of good stuff in it. I've already seen it, and I'm really liking it. So that, if you like the holidays, you like fall and Halloween and Christmas, it's got a lot of stuff in it. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't have, excuse me, man, oh my God, bad. If you don't have a demonstrator net and you would like a catalog, please get a hold of me and let me know, because I would like to get a catalog into your hands. And if you don't have a demonstrator, nobody that you order from, I would more than love to have your business. And if you'd like to be a demonstrator, I would really like that too. I have a team of 12 right now. So there's always room for growth there, and I would love to grow my team. So just want to put that out there. I haven't done that for a while. Now, let me on again. Maybe when I turn the camera around, I won't do that. I am going to get ready to turn the camera down. I want you to see this paper I'm using, and the name of it is Shimmering Stripes. You know, I wasn't for sure what that even was when I ordered it, so I got it in and forgot about it. Thought I would use it. Well, I didn't use it, so forgot about it. And then tonight I saw it, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a card with that before I do anything else, because I think it's really pretty. So let me turn the camera down and we can look at that, okay? Maybe. There we go. Bring it down. Hit a speed bump. Let me put my monitor up. Make it bigger so I can see. See if we can see the shimmer in this paper. Yeah, you can. There's little stripes in the paper, and that's what makes it. It's got shimmering stripes. This is so pretty. So I'm going to show you the easy card, because you know it's Simply Saturday, so we have to do something kind of simple. And here is my card that I did. So you'll see that my mat is the shimmering paper. And then I used white DSP, white cardstock. There I go. White cardstock, and then just barely colored in. I wanted it to have color, but I did not want it to have tons and tons of color. I didn't want to use colored cardstock in that. So this is my card. This is what we are going to do today, okay? I didn't put anything on the inside just because I just didn't want to take away from this front. You know, usually I like to put something on the inside, but I did not on this card. So I'm going to end up needing a piece of scrap paper, so that's what this is for. And we're going to make 2 cards. So I have this stuff here for 2 cards. I'll explain that as we get going. I did not use these on my first card, but I might use them on the cards today. And then we're going to be using some of the basic rhinestones. And I'll show you the stamps we're using. We're going to be using, let me get them out. For phrases and frames, I'm going to be using Have a Fabulous Day, because you can put any kind of sentiment with that you want. I'm using Boutique Blossoms for my flower and my leaves right here. So we're going to be using that. I'm going to be using out of the Scalloped Wishes dies. I'm going to be using, where'd my die go? It is not on here. Oh, it's right over here where I left it. I use this die right here, and it cuts out the pretty frame, and it also cuts out the center. So it's only one cut through to do that. And last, I used Boutique Blossoms, the flower. I stamped the flower and then cut it out. It and the leaf out with these right here, and we're going to have to cut a flower and the leaf out. I tried to do that with just cutting the die out and then stamping it later. I just couldn't get it to line up the way I wanted to. I felt like it was easier to stamp first. So that's what we're going to be doing. So our measurements are 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 for our card bases. Why do I have so many of these? I do not know. This is Strawberry Slush, 5 1/4 by 4. This is the Shimmering Stripes paper, and it is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I just have Basic White, where I cut out the frame with the oval. And then we're using Basic White to cut out to stamp and then cut out our leaf and our flower. So let's do that really, really quick. I'm using Basic Gray instead of a black for my flowers. It just gives a little bit softer look. I don't know if you can pick that up in the video or not, but it is a softer look. So I'm just going to move this so I can see. I don't do white on white very well anymore. It's terrible when you have old eyeballs. So I'm just going to give that a good press. And there's my flower. And then I'm going to have to do 2 leaves. So we're going to stamp 1 and 2. So we have that stamped. While we have our ink out, I'm going to take our ovals and I'm going to stamp Have a Fabulous Day on that. And I am going to stamp them off to the side. Like that. So there we go with that. So we got them all stamped. Whoa. And I'm going to knock everything in the floor. Why not, you know? And now we're ready to run this through the die cutting machine. So I'm going to get that and do that real quick. Let's move this out of the way, and we'll move these. Get all that out of the way. Set our piece of scrap paper over here out of the way. Everything out of the way. And then I'm going to bring the... Ooh, maybe I am. Good Lord, it was stuck to the glass mat. It was stuck. Let's bring this over. So what I'm going to do is try to get all this lined up right. I am going to line my flower up, and I think that goes right. I moved it, or is it right there? I don't know. I have to do this again because, there we go. I try to lay it the same way all the time, and then I don't do that. So then I have to find out where it goes. So let's put that right there, and we'll just push that down. We're going to have to run it through twice because we only have one leaf. I always wish they would put more leaves in there. But they don't, so here we are. I'll go ahead and lay these to the side. We'll do this other leaf. Might as well. Might as well. So, what's everybody doing for their weekend this weekend? I'm going to go over to the ball fields in Hamilton. They used to be called Ford's Park. Now it's J.L. Smith Park. It's on Joe Nuxall Boulevard. That used to be Ford Boulevard. It's not far from my house. They're having a dedication to Joe Nuxall. If anybody doesn't know who he is, he was a baseball player for the Cincinnati Reds. He started playing for them when he was 15 years old. And he was with them when they were called the Cincinnati Redlegs. So anyway, they are going to have a tribute to him, and then they're going to have an old-fashioned ball game. And so I may go to that because our church is set up down there. We're going to hand out backpacks to kids. So I lost one of there's my other leaf. I couldn't find my other leaf. So we're going to be handing out backpacks for kids. I think we got 125 to hand out. We're going to have popcorn, and I don't know what else they're having. I know popcorn and water. So I think we're going to go down there for a little while and just enjoy a little bit of Saturday afternoon. Sounds fun to me. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm losing my stuff down here. Good Lord. I have my flowers, and I already had cut one set of flowers, so we didn't have to go through that twice. I have all of this here. And what I'm going to do, I'm using Peaceful Pine for my green and Strawberry Slush for my flowers. So let's bring in the Strawberry Slush. And I'm just going to rub that out a little bit and brush really lightly. I don't want a lot in there. I just want something to give it a little color. And I'd rather keep going around than to press too hard. Unless you want something really dark, then don't press. And I'm a heavy-handed stamper, so this was kind of a hard thing for me to learn. So there we go with our two flowers. I bought these little brushes like this off of Amazon. They're from Spellbinders. I almost put that in the pink, but I don't want it in the pink. I want it in the green. So what I'm going to do is I just put the tip of that in there, and it gets really green. See, I have to get that off of that tip. Then I'm just going to bring it and swirl it in these leaves. I don't mean to be so quiet, but doing this kind of made me lose my train of thought there. Okay, there we go. We have green leaves. We have pink in the centers of our flowers. That's all we need to do. Put this lid back on here. Dump my leaves over here out of the way. Go leaves. Okay, now all we have to do is just put this little card together. So let's bring in, we only need these parts right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump those off. What is on my card? I don't know what that was. Looked like a piece of dried glue, which could very well be the case. So now I'm going to glue my sides down, or my mats down. Why do we always flip cardstock over? I don't know, but I always do. I always think one side looks different than the other. So there is that one. Isn't that pretty? See all that shimmer? So pretty. It's so subtle that it just isn't overbearing, I guess is what I want to say. It's not gaudy. It's not a gaudy, shimmery look. It's just pretty. So let's put this down here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card bases. And I did use the thick basic white. I like those for my card bases because they tend to let the card stand up better when you stand it up like on a mantle or something. When you receive it, they just tend to not fall as fast. So I like that. And I like the feel of it. It's nice and thick. But I don't use it for my mats and stuff. I use regular cardstock because that doesn't matter. It's lighter weight when you're cutting your single mats and stuff like that. So I keep both kinds of white in my stash. My glue gun decided not to act stopped up today. I was glad about that, because you never know. So there's that one. I just like the pink with it. I didn't know what color I wanted to go with it. And I thought, oh, strawberry slush. I haven't used it in a while. It's going to end up leaving us next May, so why not just use some of it? Okay, so here we go with those. Let's move up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my frames. Now, one thing I did, I should have moved my frame over just a little bit because I almost didn't have room for my flower. Lesson learned. So right here, I'm going to just put a dot of glue in between these little spiral things. And that should be enough to hold it down. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to bring it down a little bit and over a little bit. And I know it's going to look funny on the card for a minute. I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to lay it on there to hold that while I glue this one. Because I'm not putting a lot of glue, I'm just putting a tiny dot in between here where it's got more solid cardstock to hold it. So I can turn that, put that right there. Give me another block. There we go for that one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these over and I'm going to put some dimensionals on there. I'm going to pop up that center so that we can get a little depth in there to that card. So let's go ahead and put this one on. We're just going to line that up in there as best we can. There we go for that one. And just because I didn't get my first one exactly like I liked it, I didn't worry about pilling everything up and wasting paper. Because you know what? When I send this card out, nobody's going to know that these cards here are going to be any different, right? So there we go. I'm sorry I had those down so low, but I had to kind of look into them. So now I have room to stick my flower more down towards here. And so I see that I'm going to need to put some dimensionals right here. And let me see if that's going to be enough. One there and there. So probably right in here. I want that to hold that flower up. And then I can put a little bit of glue right here to hold it onto the card, because the sentiment's already raised, so we don't want to raise this again and on the card. So we'll just put that right there. And that's how that's going to go. And then we'll take our leaves, and all I'm going to do is add some glue here to the bottom. And then I'll just stick that into wherever I think it might look nice, or get it in, whichever way it works. And then I'll do one over here at this bottom. And I'm going to take and put this one like right in here. And then all we have to do is add some embellishments to it. So let's do this flower the same way. And I just like the way that that fits on there a little bit. Shows more of this corner. So that is what I wanted to do. That's what I was trying to strive for the first time and didn't quite hit my mark. So I guess here I am. Let's see. I'll do one over here. And I don't want to cover up my words. So let's put these on there, and then we're going to add some jewels to our card. Wherever my glue's at, I want to make sure I get it calm down there, you know. Don't want it to be okay. There we have these. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some gems on there. So I have, this is what I used on my first one. It's just the basic rhinestones. What I did with my other ones I just had. There they are. But I think I'm going to put a couple butterflies on here too. So what I'm going to do is get my pick tool. I'm going to add me a couple butterflies first, and then I'll add some gems. And I think I'm going to use this really pale pink. And I'm going to put one up here. And then I'm going to use one of the green ones and put it over here. I'm going to do this on both of my cards. Using both sizes of butterflies. So there we have some butterflies on it. That looks pretty. Now let's add some gems. I think this card just screams for some basic rhinestones. And I put one in the center of the flower. I liked it up there. Kind of drew your eye to the center of the flower. I'm still going to put two more on there. I just liked it full of gems, I guess. What else can I say? Making excuses, right? Making excuses. There we go. Okay. Seem like a lot of jewels, but I think it looks very, very pretty with them. So let me hold them up for you. And there they are. My camera's sitting funny. There we go. So there's the pinks. This one's a little bit darker than this one, but that's just when you're putting that on. Then, of course, I'm going to leave the inside blank. I think I like it blank. Usually I don't. But I think these are beautiful cards. I think that they're easy. They're quick. They don't talk about a lot of material to use except for this shimmering, what I call it, shimmering stripes. And I'll let you know the number. If you would like to order that, the ordering number is 168197. So it's shimmering whites, 12 by 12, specialty designer series paper, 168197. And I don't remember the price of it. You get 4 sheets of it, and I want to say it was $10 is what I think. But I'm not sure. I am not, don't hold me to that. Because I'm really, really, really not sure. But it's somewhere around in that vicinity. But you could get quite a bit of cards out of 4 pieces of paper. What I did on the first one, because I was going to use the glitter, the stripe paper for my, but I didn't know how well I liked it like that with the white circle. But I tell you what, I think it's really pretty cut out of that. And I want to show you something really, really quick. I'm trying to grab a piece of paper. But it looks really pretty on the white. It shows up on that white. Which would make a really pretty card too, to kind of reverse that. Just wanted to show you that. Show you that for nothing, right? Okay. There's my cards. I hope you enjoyed them. I enjoyed making them. I really liked them when I got started. I thought, I'd like to make a bunch more of those, but I don't have time right now to do that. So maybe I'll come back to them. So anyway, make sure you comment in my comments, okay? And I'll be sending one of these cards out to some lucky person. Well, I think you're lucky. And everybody likes to get a handmade card. So just make sure you make a comment in the comments. Just say, hey, tell me where you're from. Tell me if it's the first time that you're watching me. Anything like that. Don't forget to join my YouTube station. Subscribe to that. And my Facebook groups. Follow those and join the VIP page and stuff. I'd really appreciate all of that you could do for me. And now I'm going to go, and I will see you guys hopefully Tuesday. You'll come and watch me on Tuesday. So I'll be live then on Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Daylight Time, actually is what it's called. So anyway, I will see you all then. Have a great weekend. Be blessed, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.